That's James's dinner for today. He's going to talk about plan of attack and the Gospel of Thomas. And he's also having a very special milkshake today. It's yeah, so just try it and let people know if you like it or not. So this is my wonderful outfit today. I didn't know if I'd ever fit into these pants. They're so small, but I'm in them. And I honestly, when I put this outfit together, like I had asked my angels last year, I wanted clothes with embroidery with flowers, and I got this shirt. And I'm like, usually when I ask God and my angels for something, then I get what I asked for, but it's not what I want. And so when I saw this at first, I was like, wow, that's 70s yellow. And I'm like, nobody looks good in that color. But I suppose nobody really...
The people look good in that orange.
Oh, you think in this orange?
Yeah,
well, I love this. Yeah. I love these pants. So now these are my favorite pants. And I don't know if I can wear them out. But my back has been pretty good this winter. And we'll see what happens, right? So I'll obviously need to sew this button on again because it's not totally sewed on.
Yeah, that could have been a much nicer yellow, just a little more canary.
Yeah, well, it's funny in
just a bit.
So this was a size 10, this shirt, but honestly, I think it would fit a lot of people.
I like
fits
the,
me. Isn't it wonderful? I know. It's so beautiful.
We even got ladybugs.
I know. It's great. So I didn't think I'd like this shirt, but what do you think of it?
Yeah, it actually goes with that orange.
It actually looks good with the orange. And I'm wearing my bikini top that I thought would look good with it. What do you think of that? It's awesome. So I love my outfit today. It's so great.
We didn't do the extra exercise. You already got some.
Yeah. So did you try your milkshake yet?
Yeah.
And how? Yeah.
I'll need
a straw.
A straw.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pull this. I don't even think I'll be able to wear the shirt out here. I think I'm just going to wear the bikini. So there you go. Start reviewing your books or whatever. You said that you wanted to talk about the
longest hatred.
Longest hatred a little bit. Yeah, go ahead.
Don't want to talk about. I want to talk politics. I don't want to think politics. Unfortunately, things like Judeophobia and politics generally intruding more and more into our lives. I've been, over the course of several days, probably more than a week now, been talking about the movie The Longest Hatred. And it was, it had some important clips in it, but it had a silly kind of premise. It started off with The Longest Hatred. We're starting with the Christians. Now, I basically got up to the Christian era. The hatred of the Hebrews
there
and
you
Israelites, and later on narrowed down to the Jews, has existed for as more time before Jesus, before Christianity was developed, than it has existed since. So it goes back more than 2,500 years before Christianity. And it's still going, I'd say, stronger than ever. It's spread all around the world thanks to people who style themselves as left-wingers, who don't believe in democracy, who don't they're either commies or have been influenced by communism so badly, foreign policy, domestic policy, that they don't believe in democracy. They don't believe in freedom of speech. So I'm talking about the type of flunkies that hang out in universities and stuff like that. So it's not just the Nazi form of socialism, it's the communist form of socialism. Anything that's been tainted with the brush of Karl Marx is rotten. And it's gotten increasingly rotten to the core. It's funny, like when people say, oh, Marx was a Jew. Like in his selected works, published by the Soviet Union, there are, as I recall, count them, 2 articles about the Jewish question. And basically his solution wasn't, was maybe a kinder solution, but than the final solution, but kinder, gentler solution. It is basically Judaism's got to go the way of the dinosaur. And you can be all cynical about what I'm saying. You're encouraged to be skeptical about what I say, about what anyone says on the internet or in books. But check it out. You'll find out what I say is true. Too true to be good. Too true to be good. So that's for you latter-day Puritans. Some of the worst Puritans nowadays don't believe in, they style themselves as secular. They've got an amazingly rigid belief system. It's a religion. And that includes social democracy. It's a religion. Ultimately, social democrats don't believe in democracy. And they really don't believe in socialism, where it's anti-socialism. What do I mean by that? They believe in class struggle. They actually believe in class warfare. They just don't want to be in the front lines of the class warfare. They prefer to put what they style people of color out there. And so they're doing what capitalists are always being accused of doing, putting minorities out in front, like black people, for example, or African Americans out to fight on the front lines to fight in Vietnam and other places. So yeah, the Christian church inherited the Roman antipathy towards Jews with an added twist. I mean, the Jews, our leaders, the Jews, pretty well lock, stock, and barrel, made the mistake of whacking the founder of the world's, up to this point, the world's most successful religion. And, like Buddha wasn't killed by anyone. Confucius wasn't killed by anyone. Muhammad wasn't killed by anyone. There is a slander on Jews that a Jewess poisoned Muhammad. If he's poisoned by anyone, he would have been poisoned by one of the biggest killers in history, Muhammad himself, according to, I think, not apocryphal account, told Umar, his second successor, that he was too violent, and Muhammad was right. And when you got a person as violent as Muhammad saying someone's violent, someone on his side, that person is just over the top violent. Yeah, they, like founders of major religion, there've got to be some that have been whacked by another religion, but the Jews are kind of in a special situation there. Their leaders, way back when, killed the founder of religion and what's turned out to be the most successful religion.
There's my friend the blue jay.
So the other problem is the Catholic Church adopted probably a stricture that goes back to Jews, which was I think the belief system amongst the Jews. I'll have to check it out, but it was you don't charge usury to your own. Well, the Jews allowed, Jewish law, I guess, allowed the Jews to charge interest on loans, or loans given out to non-Jews. Well, the Catholic Church didn't tolerate, or pretended not to tolerate, amongst Christians at least, usually, as they call it, they're charging interest on loans. That's two things added on to the things that have precipitated or increased hatred of Jews. Now, the Jews were, like they'd lend out on interest, but not to each other. And that's kind of like racist. When you're living in a society where you're kind of like, I guess, it's like asking for trouble. Yeah, like when you don't charge to people of your own race or nationality. There are interest should be charged a certain amount, not on loans, especially to take care of inflation. Wouldn't have understood that inflation, I don't think, way back then. It's hard to say, but it would have always existed. So the Muslims come along, starting. I think Muhammad was supposed to have been born 570 AD, and came up with his charming religion, maybe 610 AD, and around 622 AD, I think his wife died. And I think maybe she was a bit of a check on his aggressive tendencies, and also tendencies towards legalized womanizing. He allowed himself eventually 6 wives plus concubines, and I don't know if he used the divorce option very much. There's a divorce option for men in the Muslim legal system, and of course he would have had the possibility, I guess, of unlimited concubines. So what are concubines? They are sex slaves, 24/7, 52. Fun times. So it's not just sex. They'd have to be doing, I presume, domestic chores, so on and so forth. So no rest for the innocent. But yeah. Anyway, Muhammad, in his holy script, he many times talks about the Jews in a scolding manner about them killing their prophets. And of course, the prophets, from what I could tell, every one of the Jewish prophets is even people I wouldn't consider prophets, like David. They're considered prophets. And this is one of the most egregious appropriations and expropriations, frankly, to be found in any religion. It's one thing when Christians use the Old Testament or the Hebrew Scripture as a foundational text, because Christianity was founded by Jews. Jesus was a Jew. So when that stuff is taken in, it's not expropriation. Into Christianity, it's not expropriation or appropriation. But when Muslims do that, that's offensive. It's O exclamation mark offensive. It's unacceptably offensive to be going around saying, oh, like Joseph is a Muslim prophet. He was a Muslim. Like, that's what they say, or what's said in the Quran. Moses, a prophet, a Muslim prophet. That is shameful, absolutely shameful. And in the Quran, you'll find passages like the Jews are not mistaken, where their texts and beliefs disagree with or don't conform to Muslim texts and beliefs. They have willfully, they have intentionally lied. So this is multiple slander, multiply occurring slander in the Quran. So, the Muslims, like the Catholics, I don't know if they picked this up from Catholicism. Well, Christianity existed for roughly 600 years before Islam came along. And Catholicism existed for 300 of those years, and as a punishing tyranny for 200 years. In other words, the Catholicism really didn't start to become the brutal beast it became, and stayed to until modern times, kept it to until modern times. Didn't really start getting to that point until 400 AD. So that's 400 years is a long time, folks. You know, like it's actually a fifth of the time Christianity's existed, 20% of the time. So the Muslims, of course, like the Catholics, hate the Jews because the Jews lived in their societies and charged interest to non-Jews while apparently not charging interest to their own people. And you know, like in both cases, they like the Catholics inherited an empire from the Romans. The Romans ethnically cleansed the Jews out of their native land. Newsflash for you people who think they're Europeans: their native land is Israel. Whereas you people that need the newsflash, Palestine is, as I've said before, is a misnomer, a gross misnomer. Palestine, that derives from the word, what's in the scriptures, it's called Philistia. Palestine is, Palestinians are Philistine, and they at least in two senses of the word, sadly. The vast majority of them, 99.9% of them, I suspect. But so the real problem with Islam is the Christians inherited their empire in the Jews' homeland. They hadn't ethnically cleansed them, but out of their own homeland. Big trouble is the Muslims come along and they steal their land, and the Jews' land. And those you folks that think that the Jews were totally ethnically cleansed by the Romans in 70 AD, guess what? 2 generations later, the Romans ethnically cleansed them again. A little over 2 generations, 135 AD under Hadrian. Yeah, what happened? Well, you know, like, as I've said before, ethnic cleansings don't stick unless they're rigidly enforced. People drift back to their homelands. Well, that's what happened with the Jews. You know, even in modern times, there were a significant number of Jews in Jerusalem and Hebron, for example, before the Zionist movement started really going, so on and so forth. So, you know, like, then they took over the Jews' holy sites. You know, like, the Romans destroyed the temple, but I don't know if the Christians desecrated the Jews' most holy site. by putting some sort of basilica on top of it. I'll have to check and see. It never even occurred to me that they did stuff like that in Mexico City. I think they raised some sort of holy site, and on top of it put a church or cathedral, something like that. Cathedral apparently still exists, so on and so forth. So the Christians weren't about that, at least later on. But yeah, the Muslims chucked a golden dome on top of there, and they chucked an Al-Aqsa mosque quite early after taking over this land that wasn't there. And there are other things that compound the Muslim hatred of the Jews. Muhammad, right from the get-go, apparently, he wanted to make the place where Muslims kind of faced towards when they were facing down, bowing down with their foreheads to the earth. He wanted to make that Jerusalem, and he appealed to the Jews, like Martin Luther later on. Martin Luther was like, hey man, I've come up with a new religion, but it's the old one, and I know you Jews will just want to just jump on board. Come on, the train's taken off. 5 minutes?
7. So I wanted to say the smoothie is equal parts this, so about half of that or whatever, maybe a little more, and beet juice and water, and then 3 apples. That's what that is. So you like it?
I like it pretty good, yeah.
So it's not the best smoothie you've had?
It's not the best, but it's definitely not the worst. So.
Okay.
So Muhammad appealed to the Jews, like Martin Luther did almost 1,000 years later, maybe 900 years later. And the Jews, of course, they style Muhammad as Meshuggah, the crazy one, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know. I won't say much about it. I'll just say, you look at Muhammad's behavior, I'll let you judge. I want you to look at it, what he said, what he did, and then judge. I'm not going to, any sensible person is who actually looks at the material, and many people don't want to look at the foundational material. So, the fact is, among certain circles, it's been politically incorrect to ask people, who are head up in a positive way about Islam. Have you read the Quran? I've asked a couple of people, and you're met with stunned silence, like, how can you dare ask me that? Because of course I haven't. But yeah.
Well, it's tough reading religious text. I gotta say, the Tibetan Book of the Dead was a revelation. It was
yeah, wow.
Stunning.
Yes,
and it's not long. Yeah. Whereas, like, we're going through the Old Testament right now, whenever we're in the vehicle. So if we're driving to hiking spots, if we're driving to get groceries or whatever, well, we're listening to the Old Testament.
And?
Boy, oh boy, it's a tough slog too.
You left out one, oh boy. This boy, oh boy, oh boy. Maybe another one too, oh boy.
Yeah.
It is tough slogging. So Pauline says, how do you stay awake? And when you're young, I don't know if it's possible.
Yeah, I'm actually...
I would just, I wouldn't fall asleep, but I'd wake up at the end of a page because it come time to turn. And I go, wow, my eyes were moving.
Yeah.
But I didn't register a
Exactly.
thing.
That's how, like, I'm very glad that we're listening to this that way, because I'm actually absorbing it. Whereas if I were reading it, I know I would be reading it for a couple hours and go, oh no, I haven't actually been,
anything.
Yeah, I haven't been absorbing any of it. Because it's, yeah, it's tough.
Yep, similar thing with the Quran. I acquired it in 1985 in London.
And well, some parts are very much not boring, but you don't want to really absorb those either.
The Jewish scripture, the Old Testament, is styled by Christians, and the Quran. You're just hair raising some of it, but it didn't work that way for me. I got hold of 85, so I was just turned 30. I was 31, something like that. And I thought, oh man, this is boring. And the style is horrible. And then after 9/11, I said, I'm going to go through and reread it. And then I'm going, yeah, it was hair raising. I didn't have much hair to raise, but boy, it was getting a real raise out of me. I'm telling you.
Well, I mean, there's some really violent stuff in the Old Testament.
Oh, it's stunning.
Too, you know,
it's stunning.
And I love the edition that we have that we're listening to, though, because the guy's doing a great job reading it, and they have music in the background, so there'll be cheerful music like about oh yeah, this guy who's not of the religion or whatever, but he was harvesting wood on Saturday or something, and that wasn't allowed, so he's put to death. And cheerful music in the background. We're gonna stone him, you know, whatever. And yeah, but it's keeping me alert to what's going on. And I'm actually absorbing the stuff, which is great. Whereas if I were reading it, no, I don't think I would. I could read it over 100 times and it may still seem totally new, because it would be, because I wouldn't have absorbed it. So, where is the Gospel of Thomas? Well, that's interesting.
That's right.
Well,
it's not interesting, but it's interesting that somehow or another they found it, right?
Yeah.
They had sources that indicate it existed, but guess what the Catholic Church did to it?
Yeah.
Squelch.
But anyway, yeah, it's interesting, the stuff that made it into the final cut, and the stuff that didn't.
Yeah.
And a lot of people actually believe the Gospel of Thomas is evil, and that's why it somehow didn't make it into the final cut.
It's a snooze fest. Anyone who finds it evil is, well, in my books, evil themselves, with capital E, capital V, capital I, capital L.
Listened to a great chorus. Well, we watched it. A great course on that several years ago. So I think we would have done a review of it.
Yeah.
So you might want to look that up.
So some of this is just New Testament stuff. Blessed are the poor, for yours is the kingdom of heaven. But he who has come to understand the world has found a corpse, and the world is not worthy of him who has found a corpse. Blessed is the man who has labored, he has found life. A lot of it is just New Testament stuff.
Yeah.
So if people who consider that stuff evil are evil themselves. Anyway, I think we're basically done.
Oh, okay. You have 57 seconds to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
I'll be talking a little more about us, according to Thomas. Plan of attack, Bob Wood. We're talking about George Bush stomping into Iraq, stuff like that. Figured it was topical, considering what's happening now in the Middle East with Donald Trump. How could I make a mistake like that? Donald Rump. That's what I'm going to be calling him. Donald T. Rump. Anyway, enough of that.
Okay.